Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, hook 'em horns.
Adjacent. Very near, next to, or touching. Our tailgate is adjacent to the left field fence. ADJACENT. Adjacent.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. Today we have the cutest kid in the world.
He's not a kid anymore.
Not a kid anymore.
Oh, I'll still be a kid at heart, especially with people like you in my life.
Oh, I love it. Who do we have today, Showbell?
Oh my gosh, a blast from the past.
There we are.
One of Coulter's friends during elementary school.
That's right.
Sylvan Arrison in the house.
That's me.
And I
Pleasure to be on the show.
I
Thank you for
posted
coming.
on social media that we were so excited to interview you, and I had 3 people reach out and they were like, Sylvan, oh my gosh, we're so excited.
That's awesome.
And they were, and then they had to talk about your dad, Nate. And Michelle Holscher was like, hey, do you remember when Nate got on the pongo stick at one of the parties and just and he nailed it?
Hysterical. There's so many stories like that come up in my brain when I think of our time in Austin, and yeah, my dad is always at the center of some goofy story like that.
Well, I think as older people, we're just blown away that somebody can still do a pongo stick without breaking a hip.
He could probably still do it today. I'm sure he'd hop right on it.
I'm sure he would. Oh my God. So Sylvan is one of 2 kids to our friends, Nate and Sharon.
Sharon, yes,
I think it's Shannon too.
Shannon, sorry.
You know what? It's okay. She actually has had much worse name discrepancies happen. She's got a new job, so that's been quite the common thing for her lately.
And what's your brother's name? I'm drawing a blank. Oliver.
He's younger, and we're 3 years apart.
Oh my gosh. And you're not in California anymore. You're in
Oregon.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the people that may not know me, I grew up in Austin. I was born in South Austin. We grew up right off of South Lamar, right across the street from Maria's Tacos. That was a fun spot as a kid. And we moved to California when I was 11 or 12. And we moved to like the Bay Area, so Santa Cruz, California.
That's right.
And that's where I was up until about 5 months ago. And yeah, now I'm in Bend, Oregon. I'm up here finishing my degree.
That's crazy. What are you getting your degree in?
So I'm getting my degree in engineering science with a focus in mechanical engineering and design.
Wow.
Quite the mouthful.
Wow. And what is your goal? What would you like to get involved in?
So that's a great question. I get asked that question a lot, especially as I'm getting into my upperclassmen years. I don't know specifically what I want. I just want a job that I'm going to be happy in. I want to be able to support myself and my partner, Sydney. And, I know what I like. I know what I'm good at, but I don't have a specific field in mind yet. I'm into aerospace. I'm into auto racing. My dad's a race car driver, or was.
Mm-hmm.
So anything in that field would be awesome.
But
that's so cool.
And y'all have always been a family of tinkerers. Y'all like to tinker.
Yes. You should see the garage my parents have now in California. It's ridiculous. My dad's got his bus in there. It was the whole thing.
So the family still is Ollie down in California as well, or is it?
Correct.
Okay, so
so he's still with mom and dad.
Okay, so you are lone wolfing with your partner.
Correct.
Oh, I mean, y'all's family was just so close that it's like,
sweet. Yeah.
It's been hard. I mean, I won't lie to you. I moved out of my parents' house as soon as I graduated high school. So living apart from them is not new, but living this far away is
Right.
I think I moved like 5 or 10 minutes up the street. I lived with some of my best friends at a school. And, this move has been different because,
Right.
we're 9.5 hours away by car. So
Yeah.
it's been hard, but it's been really good. I think it was the right choice. So my partner, Sydney, her and I made the decision together to make the move happen. And it was absolutely the right choice.
Oh, that's good.
We're really happy.
Oh, good.
That's
And
great. You gotta do it. You've got to spread your wings sometimes, Sylvan. So it's
Exactly.
good. It's fine.
Exactly.
so tell us about Sydney. Where did y'all meet?
How did y'all meet?
It's a great question. She is, I have so many things to say about her, but she's absolutely my better half. And I say partner at this point because, we are finally at the point where we are like life partners. We do everything together. And this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. Sydney and I met, I was working in Santa Cruz as an EMT. And we had this base that we would work out of in Santa Cruz. And, people would bring their friends by. It was a pretty mellow, fun environment. So friends would come hang out. And one of my coworkers was best friends with Sydney at the time. And she would bring Sydney by. And, it was full of overworked, kind of very stereotypical males who would just, as soon as women walk in the door, they all stand up and go talk to them. And that's not my thing. I don't tend to do that. So I would hang in the corner, but I was very aware of this new girl that was coming in. And so after about a month of that, I finally got introduced by the friend, and it went from there. I picked her up from the airport when she got back from Costa Rica, and the rest is history.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love
Of course.
that.
She's incredible, too.
He's the closer. There's
Yeah. And I take my time. I didn't want to rush it too.
Good. You did it
She's
just
incredible.
right. Oh,
She is such a good partner to me, and she's really happy up here too. I think part of this move was scary because I really, I'm lucky to have school here. I think we moved to Bend because it has so many things for us to do, both as individuals and as a couple. But for me, it was easy because I knew I'd have school. But for Sydney, it was this big question mark. She had a good job in Santa Cruz. And so when we started making those decisions, if we were going to move, I wanted to make sure she was going to be happy here. And so the fact that she is now and she's settled in well is like a huge deal for me.
that's wonderful.
Where is she originally from?
She was born and raised in Santa Cruz, so Aptos, so a different part of town than me. So we have totally different friend groups. But yeah, she's a California native.
Okay.
She lived in Oregon through her degree. She's a bit older than me. So she got her degree in Portland. So Oregon's not unfamiliar to her.
Oh, nice.
So that was good. There was a lot of factors that were like green check marks when
Yeah.
I looked at Bend.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And tell us about Ollie. What's Ollie up to? Where is he?
Oh man, that kid is always doing something new. He is so, I struggle to find the right words for him because he is so unique and so special. He does things very differently than most people.
So
that I
are
know.
you. So are you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's really good. He's at home. He followed kind of the same path that I did, which was the community college and work route out of high school.
Mhm.
So he's now trying to make the transition into a 4-year. So
Right.
he's done the community college, got some credits.
Yeah.
So that's where he's at in terms of school, but in terms of life, he's just figuring out who his people are. He's going out, being social, and just figuring himself out. It's really exciting, and it's hard,
is.
but I get to be the big brother, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
You're like, listen here, Ollie.
Exactly. Or just I get to listen to him too, because the things he
Yeah.
says sometimes I'm like, his brain works so differently than
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
Which is I think, honestly, that's one of the reasons I was close with Coulter is because I think I felt comfortable around and with Coulter because his brain worked differently than everybody else. And to me, that is the most interesting part about
Yeah.
people.
Right.
It was incredible,
Yeah. You were
especially as
such
a young kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were such a lovely.
So sweet.
Peer.
So
Yeah.
inclusive. So inclusive. Love
Yeah.
it.
Well, and Coulter makes it easy. He's so fun.
He's
How is he,
hilarious.
by the way? I mean, I have to ask, like, how are you guys doing?
He's doing really well. He is trying to move out. He wants to not live with us anymore. And so we're trying to navigate that. And then
Right.
he just like 3 days ago he decided to shave his eyebrows off. And so then
Oh,
we're like,
gosh.
and he
Quite the
looks
look.
yeah, and he looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining on a good day. And without the eyebrows, it's like, what's
Kicks it up a notch or
happening?
two.
Yeah, it's
So that was a total surprise to you. He just walked in. He's like, look what I did.
well, it's
Yeah.
not the first time he's done
He's
it.
done it before, and
Wow.
I said, Coulter, eyebrows help tell people what you're feeling. And so we went with a Sharpie and drew these like very like,
Like,
angry
See, now you can see what I'm feeling. Yeah. That's
he's,
awesome.
he's very funny. Uh, just thinking about back when you guys were at school at Zilker, what are some of your favorite
Oh my
from
gosh.
Zilker, Sylvan? Oh my gosh.
You know what? That's a great question. It's one I honestly haven't thought about in a long time. I
Yeah.
think
It's
for
good
me,
times though.
yes, and I think it's interesting. I was trying to, I've never been on a podcast before, so I was kind of trying to think through potential answers, but nothing came up. But I was thinking about Zilker a lot, and for me, I think the headspace I was in at that time was very, as a young kid, you're really confused and trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think I was kind of all over the place, but my happiest memories were just those big events that Zilker would throw outside, being
Yeah.
outside. I think being in the classroom kind of all blurred together, but
Yeah.
anytime what was it, the jamboree they would do? The
Zamboree.
jamboree. And they'd get like a rock wall and there'd be
Yeah.
hay bales to go run through. And it was just,
Yeah.
it was one of those days where you get a free pass as a kid to just
Yeah.
tear
To
into it.
be a
Yeah.
kid. To be a kid. That's fun.
And there was always good live music going on. And it was
Yes.
just incredible experience. And
Yeah.
I
and in
agree.
all the school
It's
environments,
changed a lot. It's
Yeah.
changed.
I assume so. That's what I've heard. I mean, it's funny thinking about, we just moved to Bend, and Bend is similar to Austin, where everybody that's lived here for longer than 5 years is like, Bend is not the same. And like, places changed, but we've heard the same about Austin. I went to visit probably 6 years ago now, and I didn't recognize it back then. So I can't even
Yeah.
imagine now.
It's so different. It looks like a whole different country. There's beautiful parts about it, but it is it's a big city. Big
Right.
city.
Well,
Right.
Maria's Tacos is a Hattie B's.
Oh, I don't even know what a Hattie B's is, but the
It's
fact
a
that Maria's tacos is
thing.
oh,
Yeah,
I know.
agreed.
see, it's stuff like that like you have to be open to change, but at the same time, change is hard.
It
It's-
is.
Especially
it's
that type
hard.
of
It's
change,
hard.
where it's
It
a
is
place you've been
hard.
for a long time. You've got your roots, so then everything's yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Who was your tribe back in the day when you were at Zilker?
So remind me, was that an actual thing that Zilker like procured? There was tribes, or are you just talking?
Oh no,
who-
just like who you hung out with.
Who
Yeah.
did you hang out with?
I mean, my memory of that time was it's not super clear. As like I said, I was very all over the place as a kid, super hyperactive. I couldn't really do one thing for a specific amount of time. I think my tribe was small. I think I won't lie and say that I struggled in school. I wasn't socially challenged, so I knew a lot of kids, but I don't think I truly felt comfortable with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I think, Coulter's a great example of someone who I felt comfortable with. I had 2 or 3 friends that throughout the years, especially going into like O. Henry Middle School,
Yeah.
like I had 2 or 3 good friends. My tribe was small. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I've kept it too, is, I've got a couple really, really close friends that I consider family. And, that's how I operate best,
Yeah.
But I also feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, is your family is such a squad
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is like, we're good.
Right.
We're
I
good.
think, yeah. And it's interesting too. Like we have I don't want to say traditional family values, but we are very close. I think
Yeah.
family is one of the biggest priorities in my life. And yet I still feel like an individual. I don't
yeah.
feel like nothing without them here, but
Right.
they are extremely important. My mom, she is like, I I can't even
She's an
begin to
angel.
express. Yeah, an angel is a great way to start
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she just does so much. Growing up, I have friends that have parents that are either checked out or way too involved. Like I think my mom did a really great job of being
Strike
involved
the
enough to
balance.
where,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Obviously, every parent and their kids have struggles, but
Uh-huh.
my mom cares so much, and she does such a good job at being a mom.
Yeah.
And that's been one of our challenges recently, is like her and I, as I get older and, start to become more of an individual, she's like, I don't know what to do here. Like, this has been my whole
Yeah.
life. So her and I have
Yeah.
been really trying to work through that together. And I've been trying
Yeah.
to be respectful of that fact that she spent her entire life raising me. And
Yeah.
now it's like time to be like, okay, you do your
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now it's Shannon's turn. Tell her to call me. She can come on our girls' trips.
Good. And she does, I'm
Love
sure
it.
she would love to. She's trying to branch out. Like I said, she has a new job. She's actually in London right now.
Okay.
Nice.
So she gets to travel for work. And
Oh,
I think for her,
good.
that was a really big shift in a positive direction. I've
Right.
seen a lot of positive change in her.
I think
Oh,
that's
good.
so good.
I agree.
She's an incredible person.
She is.
And
Okay,
she says hi to
so
both you.
oh
Yes,
yes.
she sends her best wishes. She says, give you a virtual hug.
Yeah.
But how is we're gonna interview her as well. We would love to catch
Oh,
up.
she will be beyond
Oh.
known. She's been so she has had a podcast dream for so long. And by the
Oh.
way, congrats on 1 year. I saw that you guys celebrated
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
So she will be so happy to talk to
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. Well, what's Dad up to? What's Nate the Great doing?
Nate is great. He's great, and he's it's funny. You'd probably see him and feel like nothing's changed. He's
I
just
know.
the same dude.
Ageless. Ageless.
Yes. And him
You
and I
just
are
look
really
like a
similar.
taller version
Yeah.
of yourself, Sylvan.
Right.
That's
Thank
yeah,
you.
and a beard.
Yeah, and I just shaved recently too. It was a lot more Dungeons and Dragons. Not too long. I am an engineer, so you gotta look the part.
Yeah, you gotta
No,
let
Nate's
it grow.
No neck beards here. Sydney keeps me in check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time.
No next year.
No neck beards.
Okay, tell me what you're loving about your move to Bend, Oregon. What are you loving? You said there's a lot of outdoor things. You could do things individually. What outdoor things are you? I know that is a paradise for being outdoors. What are your things you like to do outdoors?
Paradise is a great way to describe it. And I think that's, all these things was one of the main draws for us here to Bend. I mean, the thing is with Bend, there's so many seasons here versus Santa Cruz. It's so temperate. It's like the same weather almost year round. So the first 2 weeks that we moved here was like 90 degrees. And, I ride my bike a lot. There's gravel biking here. There's hundreds of miles of trails to just go explore. So that's something I did right away. But now that we've moved into the winter season, we've got one of the best snow mountains I've ever experienced, 30 minutes from our apartment. So the last 2 weekends in a row, Sydney and I have been snowboarding. She's learning to ski. Like, there's hiking. We've been to so many lakes already. We've gone camping. I've taken my motorcycle out and done some camping off of the back of the motorcycle up to some harder to reach alpine lakes. And there's just so much. There's rock climbing, there's running, there's a standing wave here so that you can surf on the river here, which is crazy. There's so much to do.
What does that mean? What's a standing? Is it man-made?
Yes. Yeah. It's
Okay.
an engineered piece of equipment that literally displaces the water in a way that it creates a big face that you can surf on. So you'll see a line of people. You'll be walking across the bridge, and it's like it's a wave in the river, and people just line up to surf. It's hysterical, especially coming from Santa Cruz, which is a huge surf town. You grew up with surf.
Wow.
It's crazy. So those are some of the top things we're just.
Oh my!
Oh, that sounds amazing.
How dreamy!
It is.
But what's the music and the food like up there? I've heard it's great. I've heard it's like a little Austin.
Yes, exactly. Little Austin is a great way to put it because, Austin is, everybody asks me about what it was like living in Austin. The two things I always say is music and food, and the people in Austin were incredible. But Bend is similar. We have the Hayden Homes Amphitheater here. It's a big outdoor amphitheater, big grass lawn. It feels like a mini Zilker kind of. So the music, I mean, there's a big country scene
Nice.
here, but there's some good variation. Like I saw Spoon and Weezer
Oh,
not too
that's
long
so
ago. It
fun.
was crazy.
Oh,
Well, be
So yeah,
careful. That means it's growing.
yes, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it's getting to the point where we're getting some big headliners here, which is awesome, and it's
Yeah.
again just across the river. You can almost see it from our apartment.
Oh, it's so
A
cool.
lot of food trucks. It feels like what I pictured Austin being as a little kid.
Yeah,
So many food trucks here.
like
You just go
20
out.
years ago. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember Snow Beach. If you guys remember Snow Beach in Austin,
Mhm.
that snow cone cart. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that give that same vibe here. And
Yeah.
Sydney and I don't eat out a ton. I do most of the cooking in the house. But when
Awesome.
we do go out, we love a good food truck. There's a good smash burger place here.
Oh,
Oh, how fun.
what do you love to cook? What do you love to cook? I want to know.
So I'm trying to get more diverse. What I've been doing a lot of lately is, Sydney and I don't have a ton of time. I'm at school like 10 to 14 hours a day. So what I've
Yeah.
been doing is using our crock pot, like a slow cooker, and doing
Yes.
a meal prep. So the dish I made 2 days ago is like a chicken teriyaki rice meal prep with some broccoli, simple things.
Delicious.
Wow.
Stuff that you can throw in the fridge and eat, when you've got very
Right.
little time. But Sydney loves pasta dishes. So, I like to sometimes have pasta dishes ready for her. She's got one or two that she always requests when we're doing something like that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think
But
of
that's
dish-
smart
Oh.
because, I mean, food has gotten so expensive these days,
Yes.
and going out is ridiculous. I'm
It's
sorry.
ridiculous.
It's like
Yeah.
you go and
I
have
agree.
breakfast. I mean, and then all of a sudden it's like $100. It's like, how did I spend
Yeah.
$100? I just got like a biscuit and a,
Right. Like a coffee is $9 or $10.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
like,
I
this
think-
is ridiculous.
Going out is definitely important. I think for us, it's something we
Yeah.
aren't introverted per se, but we definitely prioritize, staying on a good budget, eating relatively healthy. But, going out to us is a really fun thing to do. So we save
Right.
it for a date night.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It gets expensive,
Oh, it's
especially in
does.
California.
Yeah.
Over here, there's no
It's
sales tax.
Oh,
It's crazy. Like what you
Okay.
see on the grocery shelf is what you pay.
okay. But so there's no sales tax, but you have like property tax, or do y'all have?
Well, as someone who doesn't own property, I can't speak to the property tax side of things, but yeah, so there's no sales tax on like normal goods and services. I like, when you go to the grocery store, if something says it's $4.99, that's exactly what you pay.
Yeah.
You don't go to the register and things immediately hike
Then
up. I
it's
don't know
like
if that's
5
similar in
yeah.
Texas.
No,
No,
we
It's
have a sales tax.
Right.
And we have a property tax.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't pay an
tax.
income tax, and
I see.
most states pay an income tax, but you probably get taxed on things like gas more when you get your car
Right.
worked on, things like
No, it
that.
definitely balances.
It all is about the same, honestly. It's just, it only makes sense when you're like a bazillionaire, and that's why people call Florida or Texas their homestead, because then they don't pay income tax.
Right.
If you're making like millions and millions of dollars, but otherwise, to the common folk, it's all gonna wash out, come out
Yeah.
in the wash.
And I think you're right. It definitely balances out. And I think it's just the perception, like the perception of your day-to-day expenses here feels lower, just because of the actual dollar amount. But I'm sure that the taxes balance out. Sydney, for example, works in a unionized job. She does social work. So she works for a program called Head Start here. And,
I know that.
it's fantastic. She's part of their like outreach program. She's one of the program managers or something like that. So she goes out to homes, but we've noticed a big difference in how that whole pay scheduling and all the hours are managed very differently here. That's a good example of how maybe it balances out.
That's great. That's great. Okay. Do y'all have any pets yet?
No, we want pets. We're big dog people. We love cats, but it's just us in this apartment, and we don't really have the time that we would want.
Right.
Yeah.
But eventually you're gonna get
Yes. Absolutely. We always throw the term, we're dinking around. We want to dink around for a bit, double
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And so I think for us, for us,
So
they,
smart. So
So
smart.
smart. What's the rush?
yeah, and you just gotta have fun. I think that's part of our relationship too, is we have a lot of fun together.
Oh,
I think we're
good.
excited for the next chapter, which is going to be when I'm done with school.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be a big question mark for us.
How much longer do you have?
I have just about 2 years left.
Okay.
I've been in college about 5 years now, but
Yeah.
that's I've worked many jobs alongside community
Right.
college.
Yeah.
So
Right.
non-linear path, but it's been the path for me. So
Yeah.
Sorry, my
Yes.
dog.
no worries.
Nate needs your attention.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
don't-
we would love to have a dog. And I don't know, what type of dogs do you guys have?
Well, Shelly, you probably met Clark, the Cujo, Shelly's Cujo
Yeah.
dog. It was like a
Absolutely.
little German Shepherd. Shelly,
That's
remind me
half
of that
half
dog.
half long hair Chihuahua, half German Shepherd.
Right,
And
like a mini German Shepherd.
yes,
Yeah,
and
it was
it was
little.
very aggressive
It
and
would
bit
bite
everybody.
everybody.
It was like awful. Yeah.
But it lived how many years, Shelly?
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
That's like cat numbers. I feel like
I
cats live for
know.
18 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Chihuahua. I will say Chihuahuas are one of those breeds that every time I've had a friend or like friend of the family that has a Chihuahua, the Chihuahua just keeps on kicking. I
Oh,
want to give
yeah.
up.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say something unpopular. They're not my favorite dogs, but Clark
Oh.
and I had a connection, Clark and I.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
And
awesome.
I call it the cheese connection because
The che-
I just gave him cheese so he wouldn't bite me. So he never bit me.
It was a mutual understanding. It's like, all right, we're good.
We're good.
I'll agree with you, Jody. I think Chihuahuas are not my go-to. We're big dog people, so if we do get a
Yeah.
dog, it's gonna be like an Australian Shepherd. So,
Yes, yes.
love
It's something
dogs.
that can do the camping and hiking with you.
Yes,
Who's not afraid
yes.
of the outdoors. I mean, Sylvan, I couldn't see you with like carrying a little puppy under your
No.
arm or in a
Little
purse.
purse dog. Hell no. Hell no.
No
You're gonna
way.
be like a rough and tumble roll around on the ground.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
need my dog
dog.
to force.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a golden retriever. It's a great dog. She's very much thinks she's a lap dog. She's huge.
Huh.
She's like 90 pounds. And our last dog was a golden, but he didn't live as long as Georgia's living. He was the runt of the group. My kids
Nice.
picked him out. They named him Luke Skywalker Win. And then he didn't live as long, but with Georgia, I had read an article that dogs that sleep in your bed live longer. And I've told this story like 1,000 times. John was like, no dogs on the bed. I was like, yeah, I think we're going to let the dog sleep on the bed. And but Georgia is a starfisher. She just spreads all the way out. She's like all sprawled out. And now Shelly and we have RVs, and our RV's tiny. And Georgia takes up most of the bed. And so it's
Wow.
John and I in this teeny tiny RV with Georgia in the middle, sprawled out.
That's awesome. See, that's the exact type of dog that I want. I think
Yeah.
I love the idea of the dog coming and hanging out in the bed each night. Obviously,
Absolutely.
it's dirty. You got to do more laundry, whatever.
Yeah,
I want my
whatever.
cuddle buddy.
Yeah.
So you guys have RVs. That's awesome. That's a big thing here. Is there's like
Oh,
van
yeah.
life culture to the max. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
happening in Austin too, right?
Definitely around Austin. Shelly and Adrian got their RV first. Theirs is much bigger than ours. Ours is a casita. It looks like a little marshmallow toaster oven. It's tiny.
Cool. Is it it's mounted like it's towed on the back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever get one of those big pop out RVs. Would you, Shelly?
No.
They're hard
I-
to drive, I think.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
a hard time.
It's a lot of work. It's like a
Yeah.
hot tub.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It's really luxurious, but there's so much upkeep.
So much upkeep. No,
You
thank
want to
you.
use other people's RVs and other people's hot tubs.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah,
a lot
there you
of- a lot of
go.
vans here. Everybody's got the Sprinter vans here.
I would love a Sprinter van.
They're great.
But the only thing is my brother-in-law went in a Sprinter van, and he said that when you had to go potty, there was just in the kitchen area, there was like just a drawer you pulled out or
Mhm.
something.
It's
I'm
just
like,
it's
I
like
don't
a
know.
children's potty. Yeah, it's got little bags in it.
I don't know.
You humanize it.
Jody can't handle it.
That's my
Still,
down the road.
we have potty talk about the RV
Oh, God.
nonstop on the podcast. Like,
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a good platform for it because I feel like podcasts are a great place to talk about stuff that is just unreal. You know, you pull the drawer, you're like, what the hell? No way. On the side of the road in like a Walmart parking lot somewhere, driving for 15 hours. No way.
Well, thanks. I don't want to have to do that part, but yeah, anyway, but I do enjoy the RV life.
we digress. We digress.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
I think the unglamorous side of van life that nobody really talks about.
Yeah, the real talks about pooping in the van
in the van.
and the air.
Yeah,
The air
you gotta get as many fans on as possible. Take your family out for a little bit.
Sylvan, so I mean, the RV life, our RV has a teeny tiny tub in it.
No way, a tub?
It does, yeah. It has a teeny tiny tub, but it's just supposed to be like a shower. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
It's a basin.
It's a basin, yes.
This is so funny.
I know.
Sylvan, you're gonna die.
Coulter loves to take a bath. He loves to
Oh
take a
my
bath.
gosh, on the
He
road.
loves on the road, and he can barely fit in the
Curl
tub.
in there.
But he gets in there.
But he's like Elf in
He's
the
like
movie Elf, where it's like
Splashing water on himself. Oh, that's hysterical. Will he just hang out in there for a long time too? And let him do his thing.
No. He's in and out, but
he's
Wow.
he's a big brute of a guy. So
Yeah.
it's not like a dainty bird in there.
yeah, it's not like
Oh my gosh.
An easy thing for him to accomplish. That's hilarious.
It's
Oh my
so
gosh,
funny.
it cracks us up, Sylvan. We just can't get enough of it. We're like, we're gonna have to get like a full size tub.
Right,
right.
Just to show him what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That reminds
That's
me
a
of like,
lot of great water.
I don't know if you guys ever had, like, we had laundry baskets growing up that I would get into. I would force my parents to set up the laundry basket in front of the TV. You'd curl up in a laundry basket,
Yeah.
stuff a bunch of blankets in there.
Yeah.
Looks like it froze.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we gotcha.
We're good.
Me?
Keep going. Yeah, we can hear you. Yes. Don't worry.
We
No
gotcha.
worries.
Oh.
He'll be back on, so we're just gonna talk. So Sylvan
Yeah.
was always the sweetest kid to Coulter, but also he was just like a little angel baby.
He was always a bright light and such a good advocate. He was such an advocate for Coulter.
Yes, you are.
Talking about you. We were talking about you when you were not.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just bro.
It happens. You're doing great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your next big adventures? You're gonna graduate. You're gonna keep living in Oregon. Get a dog. Are there any big
trips?
What are your big?
It's a great question.
Big wishes.
I think Sydney and I, again, going back to the whole dink around thing, we both really love traveling. We don't necessarily have the budget for traveling right now. We've been abroad together once. It was my first time being abroad. We went to Italy together for 2 weeks, and that was a great way to start.
Yeah.
So Sydney and I have goals to travel together, but I also have a really good group of friends that I've taken a couple trips with in the last year. Right before we moved, actually, we took a month-long motorcycle trip all the way up the West Coast and up through Canada, and then came back down through like Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. So the next, I think, the big goal.
Did you drive? Did you drive to Coulter Bay?
We did. That's one of my favorite places. We intentionally stop in Coulter Bay every time, and we get fish and chips. I've done that trip twice now.
That is his namesake. I named him after. Yeah, I lived there. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you'd lived in Coulter Bay. Yeah, that is a great little town, and I've been up that part of the coast on 2 different motorcycles 2 different times, and I've gotten fish and chips in Coulter Bay.
Oh, awesome!
And it's like a mandatory stop.
I bet Sylvan, with your when you worked on motorcycles as a mechanic, you are just such a must-have on a long trip like that. You must like people are like, oh, thank God he's here.
I mean, you're right. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think that was a big part of the trip is, being prepared, when we were living off the bikes, we camped. I think we only stayed in accommodations 2 or 3 nights out of the 34 days. So we were camping and, so there was a lot of prep that had to go into it in terms of tools and all the things you're bringing with you in terms of spares. And I think my background definitely helped ease the nerves a little bit. It's me and 2 other friends. And it's good to know that we can get ourselves out of something if, something breaks or if the bikes have an issue. It's definitely essential knowledge for sure.
So do you have a motorcycle that you're like, these are the best motorcycles, hands down, or do you not have a preference?
So I definitely do. I mean, I have 2 bikes right now. My first bike that I ever bought was a Suzuki, and it's a dual sport. So it's like a dirt bike you could ride on the street, and it's just bulletproof. It's a great example of a bike that I'd say like, yeah, that's a great buy. It's super reliable. And the other bike I have right now is a Triumph. It's a street bike. It's like an older styled bike. It's called a Thruxton. Also super reliable. That's the bike I did that trip on.
Wow.
And yeah, those are, I mean, 2 examples of a brand I would say super reliable, good purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you pack in a motorcycle for camping?
Right.
It's a great question.
You have saddlebags?
Yes.
What is it? Okay.
Yes. So saddlebags, the way we did it, at least my setup was 2 saddlebags and like a duffel bag that gets strapped on top of the duffel bags on the back of the seat.
Okay. Wow.
And then I've got a small little tank bag. I don't like riding with a backpack. A lot of the days we're doing almost 300 miles here on the bike for 9-10 hours. So having a backpack kind of wears down on you. It's like, have you guys ever been backpacking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to backpacking in terms of each day you stop wherever you stop and you're like, all right, I've got what I have with me and that's it. It's very simple. You got to prioritize space. Yeah, I very meticulous. Amazing.
I'm just trying to figure out the tent. It's in your duffel bag. Is that correct?
Yeah, I kept the tent broken down into its different components. I think they kept the poles on the outside, and then the tent itself was in like a small dry bag that I would compress down at the end of every morning. And yeah, usually it's the first thing that comes out of the bag, so you can get your tent set up. It rained a lot. We spent 4 or 5 days in rain on the bikes. You're getting wet down. You got puddles in your boots. You just got to keep riding. It was definitely a challenge. It was a hard trip.
But what an incredible adventure.
Yes. And so that definitely set a foundation for further trips. I think our next trip, we're starting to roughly plan things. It's either going to be South America or Africa.
Wow.
So you would just rent bikes, I guess.
Potentially, I think if we're going to Africa, I think what we do is probably build basically procure bikes here in the US, get them all set up and then ship them over to wherever the start point of that journey would be. That seems like the best way because then you know what you're dealing with because there's a lot of variables if you were to travel to wherever you're going and then try to build the bike. So we'd probably source all the things we needed and then ship it there and then probably ship them back.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I want you to keep sharing this story.
Yes.
The story of the motorcycle trip?
Yeah, that's incredible.
It was one of the coolest things I think I've ever done. It was so unique because, it's not just a road trip. You're not in the car watching things go by. You're in all these environments that you're in and you got to deal with so many different things that come up. And I think we rode over 6,000 miles. So we covered so much ground. I think the way we started the trip was we started in Santa Cruz and we took the coast, the Highway 1 that turns into Highway 9 all the way up the West Coast to California into Washington, Oregon. And that was incredible. That was like a really nice stretch. We went through Coulter Bay. And then one of the biggest pivot points of the trip was taking an 18-hour ferry from the Vancouver Island once we get into Canada, is taking an 18-hour ferry up into the middle of British Columbia. And that's when we started heading east. Are you guys familiar with Jasper or Banff National Parks?
No,
I've heard of them, but I haven't
Right.
been, of course.
And that's exactly where I was. I was like, I've heard of this place. It sounds amazing. Let's go there. And so those were like the big ticket items of the trip. We wanted to go to Banff. And so that ferry was a big segue into that section of the trip. And so we get to this tiny little fishing town halfway up the coast of BC and just head east inland. And there was like 100 or 150 mile stretch that was it was perfect roads, curvy, but not too curvy. So you don't have to be hyper focused the entire time. And you're just riding through these like unbelievable ranges of mountains that just keep going. I almost got desensitized, if that makes sense. Like it was hard for my brain to
You're like mountains
continually update. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, wake up, well, there's more of that. But it was so special.
Boring.
Right. It sounds so like stupid to say it in hindsight, but no, that was a big, and it was, it was a tough trip too. There was a couple days where we were all 2 weeks into a trip like that, your body starts to really struggle. Your brain, it's a lot of time alone in your helmet.
Yeah.
So you have so much time to think or not think.
Yeah.
And, the days where I was thinking a lot tended to be the hardest, I think.
Yeah.
Sylvan, do you cross any crazy like mountain passes on the bike?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so the bikes we were on were street based, so we weren't really prepared for anything off road. But yeah, there was a lot of high elevation passes that you're going through.
Well, they usually have switchbacks, and they're oh my gosh,
Sylvan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so that's
making me nervous.
The part of the trip you don't tell mom about,
Yeah,
But-
they're like, yeah, we came off of this mountain going like 250. And it's like,
yeah, I think part of my
I've
preparation
noticed
that trip.
I know.
Aggressive.
I've seen motorcyclists do that. It makes me so nervous. So.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, that is a real thing. I think part of the trip was just getting it set up and starting it. And everybody had the same worries of like, dude, that's ridiculous. You're going to be exposed and in danger for a month straight, but part of my preparation for it was finding good people to ride with. And I think that's a huge factor in terms of actually being safe consistently on a bike. Is finding the right people to ride with.
Yeah,
you guys that did the trip with.
Yeah, you don't want somebody that's
a hot dogger.
Yeah, a hot dogger and like, hey, let's just go this way.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't want to just fly by the seat of our pants 100% of the time, because that's how things happen. That you don't have control over.
Right.
Was your body just so sore?
I talked about that 2-week point, and I think that was the sorest I was. But by the end of the trip, no, I had kind of adjusted. It's really interesting how your brain and your body kind of gets into a rhythm.
Yeah.
You stop noticing how sore you are after, a week or two. But the 2-week point, we all, we'd get off the bikes at the end of it like, holy, I cannot believe how bad I feel right now.
So going back, how did you choose the people, or how did they choose you to go on the trip with you?
That's a great question. The two guys that I went with, they are friends that I met while I was at school in UCSC, which is University of California, Santa Cruz. I met them both while I was in school there. They both rode motorcycles, and I think we were friends for almost 2 or 3 years before this trip started. So we knew each other very well, and it was a large group of friends at that point. But the two guys that specifically went with me were the most level-headed of the group. They're very prepared. We all thought the same. And at the end of the day, I think the biggest factor between the three of us was we all had this common interest in just going out and exploring. Like that was our biggest goal. And so
nice.
Yeah, that was, and like I said, they were very, very good to have along because they keep you in check. Doing a trip like that by yourself is gnarly.
Yeah.
Oh wow. No. Why would you do it by yourself?
Yeah. Thank God you didn't do it by yourself. Do you feel like it was like you know how different cultures do like a walkabout, or they
Mhm.
do like
A pilgrimage.
a pilgrimage. Yeah.
I think in a way, you know, coming from a really privileged, you know, life, I think my entire life, I've always had everything I've needed. I've always had all the resources I've ever needed. So I feel like it wasn't out of necessity, like some of those, you know, like a walkabout is like a huge signifier of a change in life for someone. And I think obviously the trip had effects like that on me. It changed the way that I look at my life. It changed my priorities, but
Yeah.
I think it was very, I was very lucky to be able to take that trip. You know, it
Yeah.
was, like I said, necessity is the word that comes to mind. And I think that for me, it was just a great example of doing things at the right time and just, you know, going out and enjoying life the best way you can.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. I
Well,
think
I always feel like even as a child that you were very, I don't know if the right word is like spiritual or insightful or like engaged at a different level than kids your own age.
that's true.
And so like with this, you know, with being who you are, like what which way do you want the world to go at this point? What would you like to see happen in like a global sense, like for the environment and protecting the earth and
Or
you
for the
know,
people. Or,
yeah, yeah.
Well, that is a hell of a question.
I know. Sorry.
No, you know what? It's good that you ask because I think everybody has their own opinions these days, but there's so much going on. I mean, especially with so much social media, and we're all so tied into stuff, but and yet we're very displaced from it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
there's just, I mean, the list is endless of things that I could talk about, but I mean, one of the examples is, you know, all of the big events happening with ICE and that type of thing where you're seeing this huge discrepancy between people that are acting with love and compassion and understanding, and then people that are acting with complete disregard to other humans' needs, other people's lives. You know, there's no empathy between those types of interactions. And I think that that's a great example of just something that happens when you have that type of discrepancy. And that's,
Right.
I think I just really, really hope that as, you know, as a society and as a whole, we can all move towards more empathy in our day-to-day life. Because I think that's the biggest thing is when there's no empathy, there's no way to communicate with each other. There's no way to understand what other people need. And you know, that's my perspective.
So
There's
true.
so many other things that could be said.
Agreed.
But that's
you-
such a lovely way to put it.
Yeah.
That's such a lovely way to put it.
I know your family's never really been big in social media, and I think that served out very well. And if you could look back on, you know, your younger self, what would be a recommendation you would make to like 5-year-old Sylvan? You know, with that good hindsight 2020 or what have you.
You know, I think it's I'll repeat something that's been said to me as I've grown up, and it's just find your people.
Yeah.
I think that to me was a big struggle. I never felt like I was able to find, I shouldn't say never. It was hard for me to feel comfortable around others. And, you know, although I knew a lot of people and I was able to interact with a lot of people, it took me a while to figure out what I needed out of the people around me. And once I figured that out, I think I was able to understand who I was, but without that comfort around others.
Right.
Just find your people.
Yes.
And you know, the people I went on that trip, Sydney, like there's all examples of, like, those are my people. You know?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you found your place for now. And
for now, yeah,
exactly.
And I think that's the big thing is I want to keep my doors open to if my place, if my need for a different place changes, then I want to be in a position to change it, you know, be where you need to be.
Sylvan, I love to catch up with people and hear like their take on life and I mean, wow. Just thinking of you as this little guy running around
I know.
now and your adventurous spirit, but your those words about empathy. I'm just like, oh yes, that is what we need right now.
Yes.
I agree. I think
lot
more
of
empathy is needed. And
Yeah.
Jody, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you babysat for us, or you babysat Oliver and I. And when
I
I told
did, yeah.
my family that I was coming on your guys' podcast, they were like, you need to ask, because you started this thing that still to this day is within our family dynamic. There was a commercial at the time, and you just would come in and say to Oliver and I, "What's mom?" Do you remember that?
Yeah, but
So I think that's a great example of so we still use that to this day, and
Oh my
I was
God.
so excited when I told them I was going to catch up with you guys.
well,
So like,
your family was such a big part to us.
Oh my
because
gosh. To the entire
I
Zilker
just
community.
Yeah, I loved what positive energy y'all brought
Yeah.
space. And
it was sweet.
yeah, and your mom was somebody I really looked up to and admired.
Yeah.
And I thought she was
Well, I
she really
feel like
understood what you guys needed.
she
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah.
she put y'all first, and it was
Yeah.
so inspiring. And I know when she was talking about California and making that move and
We
everything.
were so bummed, y'all. Were
I know we were so bummed, but
she did it for you guys.
Yeah.
And then it just became something that was great for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
Yeah,
would
I
check
can't
in.
agree more.
We would touch base every couple of years and just check in on each other. And
Good.
she was like, "They're doing great.
Yeah.
This is what we needed to do. We
Yeah.
needed to, find your people." I think finding your tribe, finding your community,
Yes.
it's not necessarily where you were born. Sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you have to relocate. And it's temporary. These are my
Yeah.
people for now, but
Mhm.
it might be somewhere else at another time, and that's okay. And
Yeah.
celebrating that.
Yeah.
So, Sylvan, you look so good.
You look
You look so happy.
You look effervescent. Like you have a
Yeah.
glow
Thank you.
about you.
I got my lighting set up. I thought about it for more than one this
Well, yeah, now that you're up in Oregon, you have that whole vampire thing going, and you can
Right.
just like lean into Twilight.
Yeah,
and-
absolutely. That's part of our trip. We went through the whole forest.
Oh,
And the
nice.
Twilight soundtrack.
There you go.
It was so gloomy. We made a couple Instagram posts. It was great.
Nice. Hey,
love that.
Sylvan, do y'all have when you're on those trips, can y'all talk to each other?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Part of our setup was buying these units that you can, wirelessly connect. That was absolutely essential.
Okay.
Even from a safety standpoint, hey guys, I gotta pee. Let's get off on the
Exactly.
next exit, instead of just waving frantically, I gotta go. You're going 60, 70 miles an hour and you're pointing down. They're like, what are you talking about? No, you get on the headset and you say, I gotta pee, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Hilarious. Oh my God.
Well, we hope that you'll come back on, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely
love to.
snag your mom, but definitely
Please.
share the podcast when it comes out, because I think we're going to share it with all your old
Yeah.
Awesome.
Zilker people,
Yeah.
because
I'm honored. It's
they'd
been
love
so
to hear it.
fun.
yeah.
I've never thought of being on a podcast, and so when you guys reached out, I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I don't talk about myself very much, so it was a very interesting opportunity, and I'm really grateful. And it's really cool I've listened to a couple of the other podcasts, and you guys do a really great job.
Sorry.
This is awesome. No, don't apologize. I think
We
it's
talk
I'm
about
looking a little off color.
we talk about
No.
potty. We do a lot of potty talk.
Well,
I actually
That's
appreciate
great.
the things that you guys talk to, and I can really appreciate that this is a female-centric podcast. That I think is huge. I think there's so many men out there that only consume other male media. It's really
Yeah.
important that us males actually listen to the perspectives and opinions of the women around us. That's huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I
good
think
job,
what you guys do is
Shannon.
great. Yeah, that's credit to mom right there.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right. Well, you're such a bright, beautiful light. Thank you for being part of our.
Okay, well,
Oh my
All right.
God.
Of course.
Stay in
All
touch.
right.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep on the Facebook and just let me know if you ever want to have me back on. Be awesome.
Yeah,
It's in.
sure.
In.
All right.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. Texas.
Texas. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, come on.